Good morning, everyone. We have such a nice crowd with us today and lots of names and faces that I'm really not familiar with. So that's awesome. We're really glad that you joined us today. So, the eXp Industrial Committee, for those of you who are first timers with us, because it does seem like we've got a lot of first timers, what we are is we're your go to team for learning, education, questions, deal share, anything that you're doing in the industrial space. If you've got a question or you need some information or some support, come to us first. We're your first line of fire. eXp Commercial has put together many different asset class committees. So if you're working in industrial, that's us, you're in the right place. There's also multifamily, there's medical, there's hotel resort, any asset class that you could be working in, retail, there's going to be a committee for it. Some of them are still coming online, but you can find us all on Workplace. And we do have a Workplace page. And before the end of this meeting, I will put a link to it in the chat. So today is super special. Blair Gilbert, SIOR, out of Philadelphia, is joining us again. And what we're going to do today is we are going to dive into the all-consuming world of AI. AI just keeps getting smarter and smarter and smarter, and how we use it can really enhance what we do, and it can shorten from A to B, A to Z, what we do in our everyday lives. And so I'm just really, really excited that Blair is here and he's going to show us some live information and presentations. Blair, I think you have um, screen sharing capabilities.
Okay,
So anytime, there you go.
looks like it.
Anytime. Awesome. All right. What do we got today, Blair?
And good morning. Glad everybody is here. AI is fastly becoming one of the most popular applications, I guess is the best way to say it, that exists. I have been playing with it for close to a year now. And I've got to tell you, I can't find a use that it doesn't approach. Pam and I were just talking a little bit about Mother's Day, and to give you an idea, I actually used AI to make a Mother's Day card from my cat to my significant other, complete with AI with chat writing a very nice poem. And it impacted enough that she actually came to tears. So there's so much that you can do with it. And I'm just going to go through some different things today and let your imagination run wild. When I'm doing something, try and think about how you can use what I'm showing you, but what else can you use it for? It's just wide. So with that, let's see here. Well, that's not what I want.
Take your time. All of these.
Okay, we're here.
Perfect. Technology is always our friend until it's not, especially when we're on the spot.
The chat is, and notice that I'm using GPT 4.0. That was literally just released. So, and Chat GPT 4 is a subscription model. So you're seeing the subscription side of it. It's all of $20 a month, which is ridiculously low for the power that it has. But I want you to be sure and understand that the some of the things I'm going to be doing, you can't do with the free version, which is $3.5. Anyhow, let's see if I can get this over here. Well, that isn't what I wanted. Let's try it again. And I was so sure I had all this ready, but it doesn't want to work for me. Bear with me just a second. That's not what I want either. Okay, I'm going to do it the hard way. So you can see that it is as easy as asking chat a question. Again, hence the name chat. That's the way it was set up. Um, so again, it is just as easy as talking to someone that's sitting beside you. Let me scroll down.
Blair,
So
Blair, can I ask you a question?
absolutely.
So the first thing it says is, here's how I assisted the broker. Number one, market analysis. I gathered and analyzed market data from various sources, including recent sales. Now, in my very late understanding, I thought that ChatGPT wasn't able to actually surf the web for data. I thought that it was only able that it only knew what was inside its brain or data bank, for lack of better terms. Does it actually surf the web?
Oh, absolutely. And we'll do that too.
Wow.
Now, that is version 4.
Okay. That's the
Version
difference. Okay.
3.5 is limited up until 2021. If you subscribe to 4 or now 4.0, it will give you details. Let's see, what else do we have here?
It can't get private data. It can't go into CoStar, for example, and pull up comps, things like that. Chat 4.0 can't do that yet because there's subscription.
I'm
Right.
sorry.
It cannot.
You can
But
get
actually, I can show you an example of how I use Chat GPT. You know, if you guys once Blair is done, that might also help open your imagination to what you can do with Chat GPT.
Well, we'll just keep going here. What you can do, one of the things that is really interesting is, see this paper clip down here?
Mhm.
That allows you to go to documents and upload. For example, here's a lease agreement. And expect. And I realize that this is scrolling and you're not seeing everything it's doing. So when it gets done, we'll go back up to the top here and just come down a little slower. But it's giving you a complete rundown on that lease. And incidentally, that lease is like 15 pages long. If you had to sit and read that and analyze it, it's going to take you a considerable amount of time. Chat can take it and say, okay, here are the highlights of it. It reads it extremely fast and points out virtually everything of importance in that particular lease. Let's try a different one.
Blair, do we know if there's 100% accuracy for them to be able to review? I know it's a computer, which is probably going to be more accurate than even our brains to read information, but is this pretty much, have you heard any stats on the reliability of being able to make sure that it has all the information correct? And should we always go through and verify ourselves?
You will get a warning that it is not 100%, but as long as I've been using it, I have yet to find an error. So again, they give you the disclosure, but it's amazing. I'm going to now upload 2 leases. So you've got 2 leases. These are pretty extensive leases. I defy you to sit there and go page by page and come up with the differences that have been made. See, it's talking about what happens if the earnest money deposited reduced by 25,000 and reversed revised LOI. The revised LOI as an additional 5-year option. I mean, it's just amazing. I can't tell you over the years how many times with an agreement of sale, an LOI, a lease, that I've spent literally hours going line by line by line just to make sure that something hadn't got changed that was important to my client. And again, you just put the two of them in, and chat will go through and compare it almost immediately.
Well, that's
It's
about a
picked up.
2 hour set time saver.
Yeah.
Oh,
This is the new 4.0, which was only introduced yesterday, the one you're using.
yes,
I'm
that is
reading
correct.
a news article on it right here. It says OpenAI announced a new AI model yesterday called Chat GPT 4.0 that can converse using speech in real time, read emotional cues, and respond to visual input. It will roll out over the next few weeks for free to Chat GPT users, and as a service through the API. Paid subscribers will have 5 times the rate limits for free users. The API will feature twice the speed, 50% lower cost, and 5 times higher rate limits compared to GPT-4 Turbo. It's pretty interesting. That's on top of my news this morning.
So everybody on here should be downloading that on your phone and paying that 20 bucks a month right now before it goes up.
I was
Yeah.
using it last week to design a logo, and I had a really interesting experience with it because it wouldn't listen to me. And it kept on, whenever I said I like that or didn't like that or change, the spelling's wrong, it got worse. There's a very interesting thing happened.
This is a very extensive lease that I've uploaded and asked it to provide an analysis of the lease agreement. And it's gone through almost immediately again and given you all of the salient points of that particular lease. The superfluous nonsense that goes in the legalese, it does not pay any attention to that. It's going to talk about all of the important things. And at the end, you've got a summary. And you notice I'm doing all different documents. This document happens to be a offering memorandum that came out, and maybe I should share that. Can I do that so that you see it? Let's see if I can do that. Okay, here's the OM, all right? If you're familiar with these folks, they do a very extensive offering memorandum. So that's the document I just uploaded into chat.
So Blair, are you showing us also how we can compare OMs together, like their differences?
I'm sorry, sir?
Are we able to compare OMs just like you did with the lease agreements?
Yes, absolutely.
Awesome.
Yes.
And along that vein, I've used it in the past just to compare offering memorandums to purchase agreements. You like, has anything changed from the offering memorandum to the first draft PSA? It's just unlimited in comparing those types of contracts and documents. Huge time saver.
This is what was Pam, you were asking about. Can you do a market study? Keith, this is for you.
What do you mean it's for me?
Market study for Birmingham, Alabama on industrial real estate.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Okay. Well, send it to me. I'll deal with your client. Let's get paid.
Uh,
Actually, Keith, I do this for my mentees.
Well, don't say that too loud because I expect Vu and Justin to do it themselves.
And
So
I
here-
just want to bring up one point, Blair, because everything you're doing is just absolutely brilliant. However, sometimes when I'm in here and I'll tell it to do something and it does it like this, give me a market study for Birmingham, Alabama. And I like the information, but maybe I don't like the way it's presented, or I wanted something a little bit more specific. You can tell it to regenerate and then give it
Absolutely.
your further instructions, and it will regenerate more specific to your needs. You don't have to like keep typing in there. And I'm sorry, I forgot the gentleman that said he had a fight with Chat GPT the other day, but I've done that as well. And sometimes I do find it is better just to start from scratch after so many prompts to regenerate. But most of the time, if you tell it regenerate with more specific information, it will give you exactly what you're looking for.
I use the words dig deeper. Try that.
Oh,
and see
I
what
love it.
happens. Just do
Right.
that. Dig deeper and see what happens.
I love it.
You won't have to say regenerate.
I ask it to do.
And Blair, since you don't have a long list of mentees, go ahead and I'll send you my list and you can send it out to all mine too. Okay.
So can we do a little real life case study here, since Keith, no one knows this area better than you. Let's read what it said and tell us if you think that it's accurate or not.
It's a lot easier to just read the conclusion.
So leasing activity, it says moderate level of leasing activity at the beginning of 2024, increase in pre-leasing activities with occupiers engaging in touring and negotiations, expectation for pre-leasing activities to materialize in the latter half of 2024. Accurate?
Oh yeah,
I mean,
we always have stuff going on. There's
but it was moderate in the beginning of 2024.
well, what does moderate mean?
I'm saying it's kind of generic, right?
We always have activity. Yeah.
So it
But
says
what is
basically,
moderate compared to overabundance?
and it's all a
what's the
matter of
definition?
perception. It's always a matter of perception. So vacancy and availability rates nationally, an increase in vacancy and availability rates due to historic amounts of new deliveries reflected in Birmingham's market. Market expected to stabilize as new supply is absorbed over the coming quarters. Sounds like somebody wrote this that didn't want to get sued.
Oh, okay. Well, I can tell you Alabama, I mean, you're talking about Alabama is one of those states in the middle of the Golden Triangle. All of these states are constantly growing. It's not going to
100%.
stop for years to come. Yeah.
You guys are in a gold mine little territory right now. I do like this. I mean, this is pretty accurate. Nationally, an increase in vacancy and availability rates due to historic amounts of new deliveries reflected in Birmingham's market. Market is expected to stabilize as new supply is absorbed over the coming quarters. Like that all makes sense, right? It's growing. You've got new developers coming in there, building new inventory. So the vacancy, the numbers are going to be a little lower until we can absorb all of that.
Sounds like
Continue,
generic verbalization for any city.
right?
I noticed that it can be very generic. And so how do you try to hone in and try to give it specific numbers, like percentages and things that other investors are going to want to see, like the numbers in your market?
Ask. You ask.
Yes. Okay.
Just type in what you just said.
Yeah. What is the vacancy rate for industrial buildings in Las Vegas in 2024? Well, let's see what it says.
You can do that. It was, right?
I like to say the words dig deeper. Once you get that answer, Blair, then ask it to dig deeper.
I love all the participation today. Thank you guys. It actually makes it more fun. Now we got something to work with here. So she said, and Frankie just joined us. Frankie can chime in on this because he's the brilliant statistician about Las Vegas industrial real estate. She says in Q1 2024, the industrial vacancy rate in Las Vegas saw a notable increase, reaching 5.7. I would concur with those numbers, not because I know them off the top of my head, but we were hovering between like 1 and 3% for the longest time. But we did have all these new deliveries and the market did slow just a tad. This rise includes a direct vacancy rate of 4.8% and a sublet vacancy rate of 0.9%. Super interesting. Like now we've got numbers that we can actually are very specific that we can make decisions with. This isn't just a generic conversation. The increase in vacancy was driven by several factors, including the addition of 3.3 million square feet of new construction to the market and negative absorption of about 182,000 square feet. And that's delivered by Newmark or quoted by Newmark. This upward trend in vacancy rate reflects a broader national pattern of increased availability as new industrial spaces are delivered and demand adjusts post-pandemic. Guys, can you imagine how simple it would be to deliver a listing presentation, a short blurb on your listing presentation, exactly about your market, the property in question, and deliver it in such a way that you are the expert. There's no one else they can possibly hire because you have this information and you know this information. This is gold. And not enough agents are using it, but the smart ones are.
What
Dig deeper.
my mentees do that are in industrial, which are two of them, is when they're doing their cold calls, they don't start with the traditional verbiage. They introduce themselves and say that they have a market study of the industrial activity in their market for the last quarter. Is that something that you would be interested in receiving? That's how they open up their cold call. And they're talking to somebody in industrial and they're offering them something of value, which is the market study. It's amazing how often the person that they're talking to said, I guess it really isn't amazing. The person that they're talking to says, yeah, I'd like to see that if you don't mind sending it to me. Then they transition that conversation into, how do you see the market going? What is going on with your particular asset class or assets in this particular time? They're not starting with, do you have property that you want to buy, sell, or lease? They're offering something of value immediately out of the box. And it works extremely well for them.
Yeah, that's the old traditional offer value, right? Instead of so sometimes if you're the type of personality that can deliver that effectively over the phone, that's fantastic, right? So instead of cold calling people and asking something from them, you're cold calling and asking to offering them something, providing them value, and then you could build relationships from there. I love it. It's great. So we have a question over here that I would like to address. Does anyone use ChatGPT for property searches? Antone says, I use it in conjunction with, and then I can't see it because I've got something on my screen that will not move.
with CoStar data.
CoStar data.
So I know someone asked about CoStar. So there's some filters that it doesn't have. Like I wanted to get intricate where I have a client that wants to find either vacant land or different asset types that can be converted to residential, but it
Mhm.
needs to be within a mile of other multifamily. So what you can do is, or the way I do it, I go into CoStar and I have to dump a good amount of data that I then import into CoStar, and I make sure that I get the latitude and longitude, because that's the key for finding what's within a certain radius of that multifamily or that different type of asset class. And then I just upload that into ChatGPT and ask it the right prompts using some of the column names, because you give it the actual column name. So property type needs to equal exactly what CoStar labels land or multifamily or whatever. And then within a mile of this other property type. And again, it needs to be something that ChatGPT will know, because that's in the data sets that I'm uploading. So
Wow.
hopefully that makes sense. But it's able to then spit out all the properties that are within a certain radius of the multifamily type of assets without me having to. One, CoStar doesn't even have the filter to do that thing right now. Hopefully, maybe one day they'll add AI into their product to do something like this. But yeah, it makes it a lot easier, less time consuming for me.
Antone, is there a way for them to, for ChatGPT to send emails to you with updates as listings come up or off-market opportunities come up?
So the issue was going to be having a constant connection to these other services. As far as I know, CoStar doesn't have an open API to where they will let you connect to, say, CoStar, or maybe there's some other property search websites that have open APIs that can allow that communication, and that's really the issue, that direct communication. So, irrelevant of where CoStar can, ChatGPT can send you an email or not, it won't have the updated information to even trigger.
Got it. Thank you.
Yeah, it has to have access to the data itself. I've tried that with a couple of things, and it can't get into CoStar, for example. It can't get into Prospect Now. Any of those that are subscription based. It's
I have a
we
question.
have to pull the information out and feed it in.
Okay, real quick. When we were in Nashville, Carrie, was her name Carrie Soave? Hope I didn't say her name wrong.
Suave.
Suave. Okay.
Yep.
I'm going through my notes right here, and she said obviously you have to pay for her course, but it said that that her AI program can assess property values based on market data and even predict future trends based on historical data. Has anybody figured out how to do that without spending $10,000?
So Justin, I think Antone just hit on it. All you
Yeah.
have to do is import the information. I mean, so you're
But you're doing
saving.
it yourself, like you're having to import it, but like she was saying, like she's got already pre-built things that go out and find the information.
That could be possible, and maybe she has links to her own subscriptions that will extract that data for you. However, in my experience, it's pretty quick to go into CoStar, LoopNet, RealNext, Reonomy, Crexi, whatever platforms you use. And honestly, that's even more brilliant, right? Like if you spent 20 minutes doing some searches and then you import all of that information into chat, and then you give it instructions on exactly what you want from it, that's where your big time saver is, right? You're not the one actually analyzing the data. Chat GPT is for you.
Exactly.
And
So
so
once one person like enters data into Chat GBT, does it on a spectrum across like everywhere, does it keep that data so that somebody else can use it?
from
No.
my understanding, yes, but Antone, you just unmuted your mic.
I'd say no. because you can easily delete this, and in their policies or whatever, they also kind of tell you where and when they might share data. But if you upload your data into here, it's private, and then you can also delete it out of here as well.
So let me just say something on behalf of Carrie. She is, since eXp has hired her, she is the official AI consultant for all of eXp. It's because of what she brings. What we saw in Nashville is she created custom GPTs for the commercial real estate industry. And what the keywords you guys keep bringing up, and this is the key part, Justin, as you know, is the better prompt engineer you are, the better stuff you will find. It's all about the prompt engineering. That's where your success is. Well, she's a brilliant prompt engineer and has created custom GPTs and will continue to create things for anybody who's part of her world. She charges one time for life. Don't forget that. It's not an annual subscription or anything. She charges one time for life to always be a part of her consulting and growth in GPT. She stays on top of all of that on AI. And so
what is the cost?
And then
before April 1st, it was 3,000. She was going to go to 5,000 one time, and that's it. Do you remember that, guys? That's what she said.
Yeah, it was going up like within 3 weeks after that conference.
Yeah, only because on April 1st was a major announcement or whatever, ChatGPT or of AI, not of I know there's other languages, AI, what's the word? I forgot the word I'm trying to say, the overall category name, AI something, I forget. Anyway.
Artificial intelligence? Or
No. I know what AI stands for. No, something like AI.
Oh, generative. The prompts are definitely a must, right? You have to be great at asking the right questions.
That's what prompting is.
If it doesn't have the data, then you can have the best prompt in the world. If the right data is not in there, then you're not going to get the answer that you want. I think going back to accuracy too is if it's searching the internet, you can get these summaries back. It does give you references, which is better now because at least you can go to the source of where it got the data and double check it. But some of the time it summarizes summaries of data that was summarized by someone else. So, it starts to kind of dilute some of the information too. So if you can upload your own information, say like from a CoStar or some other data sets, and you know exactly where the data is coming from, you have the raw data, and then you analyze it. If you want to do an analysis, I think that's really the best way to go about it if you want to do an analysis. But these are very helpful for quick, putting in presentation, marketing slides, posts, things like that.
I love that, Antone. And then just to take it further between residential and commercial, remember, residential data is everywhere now. The MLSs and NAR gave that information away years ago in realtor.com and everywhere else. Hell, if you want to sell a house, just go on Facebook. The information is there because, residential agents are celebrating their wins and posting pictures of property. All that information is fair game now. In commercial real estate, we're still kind of the keeper of the information. We still have some gateway to get through. So the only way you can trust data is to export it from these sites that you subscribe to, from the sites that you can trust, and deliver that information to ChatGPT and have it use that information. But even furthermore, that when you're asking ChatGPT to generate things, you can tell it what source to go to if you want. Like I love Red Shoe Economics. I think that as far as any type of major economical information worldwide, or especially in the United States, I really, really trust what he has to say, and I trust that source. So sometimes when I'm looking for information, I'll tell it where to look, and it will just give me information from that source. And then this is really not about information and data, but another thing you can do with ChatGPT is you can tell it to speak like anybody you want. You can say, speak like um, Grant Cardone and generate, or you can say, speak like a commercial real estate broker. You can say, speak like whoever you want, and it will just generate information in those words. Sometimes when I'm doing social media, I'll tell it that, speak like Grant Cardone. Why? Because he's flashy, because he's exciting, because, if I want to sound more professional, I'll say, speak like, oh gosh, what's his name? Patrick Bet David. And then I'll get this real concise, precise data, informational, professional delivery. So it's so unlimited. But as far as commercial real estate data, that information just isn't public like residential data is. We still have to do a little bit of the work if you want it to be completely accurate.
That's great tips.
Oh,
I've
yeah.
done Gary V and Denzel Washington, and just to have fun with it.
Yeah, 100%. And Frankie's texting me on the side, Jordan Peterson. Yes. Speak.
Don't forget that you can have chat create illustrations for you as well. All you have to do is, again, describe exactly what you're looking for, and it will create that illustration.
And that's only available in the later versions, right? So 4.0 does that?
Yeah, 4.0 has access to like Dolly and some of those other services that are out there. This new one that they're talking 4.0, that one is even newer than 4.0 or 4.0. I have found that it does have issues with text and illustrations though. So I think someone mentioned that they were trying to get text in an image. I've seen it have
You are correct.
issues with
correct.
trying to put text in an image. So if you want the actual text, it's better to take this, put it in Canva, and then put the text in it over top of it. At least that's
Well,
how I
I'm
do it.
sorry, but that does not look like a single story building, or am I crazy? It just has windows in a row, maybe.
Unless it's a
I've
huge
had to work
warehouse.
with it a couple of times to get exactly what I wanted. But there's no way in the world I could get those illustrations that fast, that well anywhere else. It's amazing.
Yeah, gone are the days. Do you remember having to, I don't know if anyone else did this except for me, but like 10 years ago, I would subscribe to photo sites. So I'd pay a monthly fee. So I had the privilege of downloading and using photos, like massive amounts of photos from these sites. We don't have to do that anymore. It's very interesting how quick and fast our jobs are changing with technology.
Like Shutterstock, that was the website.
That was the one, Shutterstock.
Yeah.
Yep.
Sorry, guys. Sorry, I'm late. I did want to chime in here because it kind of reminds me like crypto a little bit. There's so many different platforms and sources, and it's going to evolve so rapidly. So, like, there's another one. I'm not sure if you guys mentioned it, Merlin. For some reason, Merlin, that AI has very well adapted to pictures, attachments. We put in full offering memorandums in there and say, give me a prompt for this listing, and it's been great. So I was just going to add, obviously we got to keep track of all of these different companies and ChatGPT 3.4, 5, all of these things. And some might be better than others for different things. That was all.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
I don't know how up to date Merlin is. However, Merlin's great because it's just an attachment on our Chrome bar. So
Yep.
when a lease comes over in your email, you can just open the Merlin. It will open a panel on the side and tell it to chat with that document. Outline the document. And when you're generating prompts, you give it details and how you want the information delivered to you even. You know, you could say, generate this in the form of a spreadsheet, generate this in the form of bullet points, outline the document by headings. You tell it exactly how you want the information delivered to you, and it's incredible. It will give you spreadsheets if that's what you want. So like when you're searching for properties, if you were using it for that reason, you could actually tell it to deliver them in the form of spreadsheets, and these are the column headings. It's pretty and then you could even tell it if you want to give you like the average cost per square foot. It will do all the mathematical calculations for you as well.
Yeah, and if you want a file, you ask it for a file that you can download, and it will literally give you a link to where you can download either a spreadsheet or PDF, whatever format you ask it for.
I did not
I've
know
used-
that, Antone. Oh,
Yes, I
golden
do that
I've
with
used it
with
to-
spreadsheets a lot.
I've used it to do a PowerPoint presentation
Love it.
from A to Z, including the text to use in explaining each one of the slides.
Beautiful.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's your own little personal assistant. You know, train it, mold it, evolve with it, and
Exactly.
you know, as beneficial to your personal business as you possibly can.
And don't overlook the value it brings. Pam was talking about how it speaks. If you're doing an email to somebody that you don't know, but you know something about them, you can tell it what you want to say and ask it or tell it how to respond and what type of conversation. And it will create a perfect email for you. I mean, just unbelievable, and put things so succinctly in order that I don't know. I grew up with an English teacher as my mother and always thought that my English was pretty well. Chat puts me to shame. It was just
Definitely quicker and faster and more efficient than any human brain, right? Helps
Yeah.
with all of the minutia.
So guys, we have 9 minutes. Is there anybody in the room that has something specific they want us to dive into or see or questions? Because we want to make sure that we have an opportunity for everybody to get what they came for today.
Can I just clarify on signing up for the Chat GPT, the custom GPT
Yeah.
4.0? Is that what this is that you're showing?
yes.
4.0, okay.
Is it 4.0? Because there's also 4.0.
Well,
No, it's 4.0. I'm sorry, it's
4.0,
4.0.
okay.
And it's
Yeah, I haven't been able to find it.
not 0.
Little o, letter O.
Right.
yeah, and you can get by with 4, but either way, I think either one of those you're going to have to pay for.
Yeah, okay.
After
Right.
after 3.5, they charge you.
Mhm. Did you find it on the App Store?
Oh, you pay? Well, I
Could
just
you
go
show us
to
what it looks like?
chatgpt.com if you want to
Uh-huh.
subscribe. You can download the app on the Apple Store and Android, but I think you still have to put in your payment information on chatgpt.com now.
Yeah, I don't know.
So there's so many imitators out there that it's kind of hard to find, but let me see. GPT.
It's
For-
open.
You have to go to OpenAI. Start off with.
Yeah, if you already have OpenAI, there's a drop down menu in the upper left to have you upgrade.
Oh, okay.
I just did it. That's how I know.
Great, thank you.
Nice.
That was the verbiage I was trying to remember. Open A.
Upper,
Open
yeah,
AI.
upper left. I'm
OpenAI.
sorry.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's the company developed it.
Okay. Are there, looking at the questions, things? Justin, I don't know if you've already bounced, but thanks for being here. Are those functions available on Chat GPT 3.5 version from Oliverios? So a
I
lot of these,
think,
We showed a lot of stuff, so some of them are available.
yeah, I think that question came in when you guys were referring to the things that only were available for the newer version.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, accessing the web, yeah, I think it's only in the paid version.
No, wait, time
Yeah,
out. I
right.
just used 3.5. It accesses the web.
It does? Okay.
Yes.
How about the other plugins? Did they make that accessible to
I don't know.
3.5?
I don't live on this stuff, so I don't know.
Yeah. Just like I was saying, they're going to constantly be updating and changing the subscription levels and all that good stuff. So it's all good.
Guess you just have to play with it, and if it doesn't work,
Yeah, it's only going to be
you'll know
as
you have to pay.
Yeah, it's only going to be as useful as as much amount of effort and time you put into it. So
And it changes really quick.
So why don't you try
Right.
this? When you get a chance, just go in there and ask it to tell you about you.
that's scary.
ooh,
I don't know if I
that's
want to
See
see
what it
scary.
has to say about you. It will go to the web, I guarantee you.
Okay, yeah, I'm gonna do it right now.
Oh,
You guys never did that, did you?
I'd be too
No.
scared to. The computer knows more about me than me.
You can also tell it about you or what you want it to know about you or think it knows about you as well.
Right.
So that when it gives responses, it can, give responses as if it knows who you are because you told it.
The best looking commercial real estate agent in the whole entire world.
So this is Merlin, probably not the best, but can you guys see it?
Yeah.
Let's be really vulnerable.
Oh no. What is Pamela Jones, Sam, and I? Who is him and why should? Oh, I love it.
Oh,
Oh my goodness.
whoa.
You're amazing.
Well,
Oh.
that's awesome.
Decision to hire Pamela to sell your commercial building should be based on a careful evaluation of her qualifications.
Oh
So
my
Uh,
Pam,
goodness.
let's see.
Pam 3.5 says that you have been doing this over 35 years.
It's true.
And
That's
Megan,
true.
It's true. Do you see these wrinkles?
I'm reading on 3.5.
These wrinkles
It
are
went
here
to the web.
for a reason.
That's so cool. Well, at least it was right.
Says you're highly regarded in your expertise.
I like to think so.
I went in and told
Does
it
it
that
also
to
say
say
this?
that.
Does it also say that I'm retiring in a year and Frankie's taking everything over?
No, I think you have to input that.
Darn it. Hey, I like that jacket, Keith.
What jacket?
Your eXp commercial jacket.
I think that's a shirt.
Oh, it's a shirt.
It's
Yeah.
that colored shirt. You got me one of
This
those.
is in the store.
I
You need
bought
it in
one
the
for
store.
Frankie. Frankie, you
Yep.
have that, don't you? It's hard
Yep,
to get
same
onto
one you got me.
flag, but I keep fighting
Yeah,
for
but
it.
Frankie, here's the difference. This seems to have some kind of a pin on here. I think it says CCIM or something like that.
Is that what that says? It's kind of
Ouch.
smudged, a little blurry.
It doesn't say SIOR or anything like that.
Right.
I'm getting both.
For Blair. That's the big boy. Well, Blair, thank you so much for bringing this information to us. I loved today's session, and it was, I loved all the participation. I know that I learned a lot and walked away with some nuggets. And I like to think of myself as a pretty frequent AI user, but I've definitely walked away with some information and some nuggets that I'm going to incorporate into my business today. And with that being said, if there's no more questions, we're 2 minutes before the hour, but I think we
I would like to acknowledge a person that's on your call today. Mr.
Okay,
Bill
please.
Rapp. Mr. Bill Rapp and I, we were very fortunate in our mentoring mentee world, we got to share the smallest commission check ever, right, Bill?
It was pretty small, but I appreciate your help, man.
It was 2 figures,
Oh my.
What?
less than 20.
What?
Are you serious?
Wow.
Small office lease.
We got
That's
to share-
amazing. I thought Frankie and I had that, but ours
No.
was 3 figures.
Nobody can beat us. Bill and
Ours
I.
Yeah,
is-
that's
are record
impressive.
holders, baby.
Hey, it's
That's impressive.
experience.
You're
It's
going
always,
shopping
it's
spree at the
always-
Dollar Tree.
it's always good to hold records.
That's crazy.
I'm a
That's
great
a
mentor,
great story,
aren't I?
though. And now, what's your highest commission that you guys have gotten?
Oh, we're not going to say that, are we, Bill?
No, we're not.
Exactly. $1, $2 here, you know, that's all we're making. It's no big deal.
It was over 20. I know that.
Gotcha.
Good job.
That's
Hey,
such a
listen,
great story.
Hey, listen, I always tell agents that you never want to figure out how much you made per hour at the end of a deal. Because sometimes you're going to be embarrassed to cash the check because you felt like you really didn't earn that much, but that's okay because take it and run to the bank with it because it makes up for all those other deals where you earned probably $4.80 an hour, right?
Or
It all
less.
comes out in the wash.
We didn't make pennies.
It
So that
all
was
comes out
total.
in the wash. All right, guys,
So
well,
true.
go kill
So true.
it. It is 8 o'clock. Go kill it. I hope you guys all have an amazing day and I hope to see you back here in 2 weeks for stats and market data. And that one is all going to be Mr. Frankie Valley. So if you're interested to find out what's going on in your specific region, make sure you're here and we'll make sure you get taken care of. Maybe we'll even incorporate AI.
Thank
Have a
you
good
all for
one.
showing up.
Have a
Thank
good
you,
day.
Blair.
Bye.
Appreciate you guys.